So that is about computer architecture and organization. If anybody has any doubt or question, they can put, or we will move on to the next concept. Anybody has any doubt? Or we can move on further. Okay. Slide is visible where I'm showing you the fundamental units.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's deal with computers now. Let's try to understand how the computer works out. So whatever the diagram or the figure you are looking through, it is a diagram of a fundamental unit, or it is sometimes also named as functional unit. So this is the fundamental unit or a functional unit of a computer. I forgot to label it out. So it is a basic structure of a computer. Whatever the fundamental structure we talk about, that is can be shown using this figure. Okay, so it is made up of three components, which is called as input devices, output devices, and the central processing unit. So these are the three major components you will see in many of the computers. Okay, remember that these are the three important factors without which the computer can be said as an incomplete it is, because it should have a particular input to process something. It should have something which is giving as an output of that processing results, and there should be something to process that given input and provide us outputs. Okay, so that is these things are very much important. तुम्ही असं rarely म्हणू शकता की sir one of the factor is missing in some of the application. Most of the applications मध्ये हे तीन गोष्टी असतातच. When you consider an applications of computer, then you can say that these somebody is having a mic on, please off it off. If you are not talking something, just off it. So these are the three entities, those are always there. So input can be called as input devices can be categorized into what I can say is input unit. Just yeah, I can categorize it into an input unit, and output devices can be categorized into output unit. Okay, so we will talk about them. And another things which are important inside the third unit, that is called as computer or CPU unit, that is central processing unit. It is made up of three factors. First one is memory unit, second one is control unit, and third one is arithmetic and logical unit. So arithmetic and logic unit is related to doing various arithmetic and logical calculations, whereas control unit is responsible for providing a control over it. So control unit is providing the control between these all units which are connected. It takes a control over them and it provides a better services to them. Whereas memory unit is used for storage kind of mechanism. Okay, so we will try to figure out one by one. First one is input unit. We know that computers accept encoded information through input unit, and we can say there are different input units or devices we can come across. You can give a basic example of it as a keyboard, right, or a mouse, I can say. So whenever I'm pressing some key on keyboard, a particular electric signal is been sent from keyboard controller to the CPU. So you can see that always from the input unit the arrow is inward direction. So it is giving an input something to the CPU. So you can include any of those things. Mouse is there. If I'm clicking something, it is providing a factor or the electric signal which is given to the CPU. Okay, so actually mouse gives you the locations of X and Y onto the display, and on that particular position, what function should be executed. That is been decided by the CPU depending on to the location of that pointer, right? Whereas in keyboard is sending an electric signals in the form of different patterns based on ASCII values or ASCII values, you can say. ASCII value represent a unique value for each and every key that is to be pressed on to the computer or the keyboard. So those are the things which are provided as an input to the processing unit. Based on those inputs, it processes them. Okay, there are many examples of those. You can say joystick is one of the input unit. You can say yes. Somebody wants to say something? Another example of that is scanner. Scanner is also a input unit. Okay, there can be a pen, you can say, or stylus, it is also called as. Are you familiar with that? Most of the laptops and different mobile phones nowadays get stylus or pen using which you can draw something on that. Okay, so those are some of the input units. You can put many more of the what we can say names over there over the input unit. Now let's move on further. Another important aspect, that is the next unit, is called as CPU. The CPU is made up of memory unit, control unit, and arithmetic and logic unit. In that, first we will focus on memory unit. Memory unit is responsible for storing program instructions, data, and results of the calculation. Means what? It can store whatever the data that is received from the input unit. It can store a pre-provided program inside it, which is having a set of instructions to be executed, or it can save a result of a data. Okay, or whatever the processing it has done, whatever the results we achieve, that can be stored onto the memory unit. So basically memory unit is made up of two aspects. First one is called as primary, second one is called as secondary memory. Okay, primary memory and secondary memory. So primary memory is also called as main memory, and the secondary memory is also called as auxiliary memory. So these are the two categories of memory which you can find inside a computer. First one is primary, second one is secondary. So they have their own responsibility over there. So primary memory is basically made up of semiconductors, whereas secondary memory is made up of different devices and semiconductors also. But most possibly secondary memory is made up of magnetic disks, magnetic tapes, okay, or some kind of chips also. All right, so primary memory is having a high speed as compared to secondary memory. So whenever a particular CPU is running some program, that program is stored on primary memory before executing. Okay, so whenever you give some instructions to computer first stores them inside primary memory, then it executes them. Okay, let me give you some example of it. For example, जर तुम्ही मोबाईल मध्ये गाणे ऐकत असेल, you are listening some songs from Gaana app or Spotify app or we can say Savan app. Okay, if some of the app I'm using and I'm browsing the song and I'm listening to it. So whenever you listen something from that speaker, before that your song is been streamed from the internet, it has been downloaded to your mobile phone, and that downloaded file is been stored on RAM of that mobile. even RAM is also there, or you can say primary memory of that mobile phone, and then it is executed from there. Okay, because processor is very speed as compared to remaining devices, so it requires quick data to be processed. So for that, RAM is one of the components which quickly provides the data. So that's why whatever the data is to be executed, it is first uploaded to the RAM or primary memory, or you can say main memory. Okay, so main memory is storing the data which is to be executed in a simple form that I can say. And main memory is categorized into two categories. First one is ROM, and second one is RAM. We will go for more of the detail or deep implementation in both the entities in upcoming lectures. If you have seen the chapter number 4 in the syllabus is for memory storage or types of memory. There you want to learn what is RAM and what is ROM. So ROM is basically read only memory where I can store applications or the programs which are used every time to start a computer. For example, you can say there are some routines or functions which are to be executed. For example, BIOS or post or IO drivers. Okay, for example, let me give you an example of it. जेव्हा तुम्ही एखादा computer start करता, you can see that as soon as you start a computer, every time your display has been loaded, your keyboard is been active, your mouse is working. त्याला जर printer connected असेल तर printer start करून work करायला तयार असतो. Okay, so whatever the peripheral devices are connected, those are able to be accessed. Means what? Whatever the drivers which are needed in order to operate them, काही फाइल्स लागतात त्यांना ऑपरेट करण्यासाठी, ते फाइल्स कम्प्युटर ऑटोमॅटिकली लोड करून घेतो. ओके, that process is called as post. Okay, so post is a routine which is useful for uploading all the component drivers which are connected to the computer. So जेव्हा तुमचं ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम बूट होत असतो तेव्हा ते प्रोसेस होतो. So that complete thing is a routine process. Every time when the system starts, you have to do that. Every time when a system shuts down, you need to close those files and shut it down. हे routine process आहे. मग तसल्या processesला आपण ROM वरती store करतो, which is called as read only memory. I am only storing data which is frequently read. त्यामध्ये changes नाही आहेत. Okay, always I am gonna need those files every time. Whereas RAM is random access memory, which is used to store data which is used for execution purpose. Okay, ते रन टाइमला असतानाच तो होल्ड करतो रॅम मध्ये. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, यू नीड दॅट सॉन्ग टू बी इनसाइड युअर मेमरी वेन एव्हर यू आर लिसनिंग दॅट सॉन्ग. एखादा मी सॉन्ग प्ले केला मोबाईलमध्ये, ते ऐकण्यापुरतंच मला ते मेमरी लोकेशन वरती पाहिजे रॅमच्या. सो तसल्या गोष्टी आपण रॅम वरती स्टोर करतो. If I switch to another song after some time, the old song's memory has been cleared and a new song is been uploaded over there as soon as you select next song. Okay, that is called as memory swapping. Swap करतो आपण, जे उपयोगाचं नाही त्याला काढून टाकतो रॅम मधून. So that is used, that is the use of RAM. For that purpose we are using RAM there. So these are the two different categories we can come across, where RAM is called as random access memory or read write memory. I can make changes inside that, and the user can use this. The memory location at RAM, a user can use this. So for every instance a memory is used inside RAM. तुम्ही C मधला प्रोग्राम एक्झिक्यूट करत असेल तर ते प्रोग्राम आधी RAM ला अपलोड होतो, then एक्झिक्यूट होतो. If you are watching some movie on your PC, the movies files are uploaded to the RAM, then they are played. If you are playing some game on the laptop, it is uploaded to the RAM and then they are played. So that's why if you are buying a system, we target for a maximum RAM. कारण का जेवढा मोठा RAM असेल तेवढे maximum applications मी easily run करू शकेल, because there will be a lot of space inside it to store different data. Okay, so that is the what we can say basic requirement of the memory unit used for. I can store data which is required to be executed. I can store results after calculations inside RAM, and it is categorized into primary memory and secondary memory. Okay. Next one is let's go for arithmetic and logical unit. Now, arithmetic and logic unit is made up of necessary logic circuits. For example, you can have adder inside it. For example, you have multiplier inside it. For example, you have comparators inside it. Okay. So logical calculations means where you can use and requirements or and condition or conditions. Okay, while loops, do while loops, such kind of calculations what I'm using, where I'm comparing something, where I'm adding something, where I'm multiplying something. Those kind of circuitries are stored inside arithmetic and logic unit. So this is also called as ALU. Sometimes I can name them as an ALU also for the short. So whatever the calculations you can say, whatever the decision making you can say, that is done by this unit, complete unit. Okay, so that is the responsibility of that unit. So whatever the if I'm doing addition, for example, if I'm doing an addition where a plus b is done and the result is stored in C, arithmetic logic unit fetches the data from memory of a and b and calculates the addition, and whatever the result is there, it stores back to C in the memory. Okay, so in this way it stores back, it writes back to the memory, so that later on it can be given to output device also if needed. Okay, so in this way it works out. So that is related to what we can say is arithmetic unit. Another important unit of the CPU, which is the last one, is called as control unit. Now control unit is what we can say controls the activities of all these units. Okay, it makes sure that all the instructions which are to be given to these units to work for are correctly provided and all the units are working correctly. Okay, so control signals issued by the control unit governs the data transfer and then appropriate operations taking place. So whatever the data transfer between input to the memory unit has been given, that is taken care by the control unit, and it also makes sure that all the remaining executing correctly, whatever the data which is given, that is been processed correctly, the operations are correctly applied to it. Okay, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, there is a glitch in the network now. Okay. So control unit's job is to make sure that if I provide addition requirement of two numbers, the additional व्हायला पाहिजे. If you're saying that do addition of a plus b, instructions are provided to the computer, but computer is executing multiplication, then you can say there is a problem in the control system of the computer. It is not performing accordingly. Okay, so main job of that is controlling all the activities inside computer. I can relate this example with neural networks of your body. मी तुम्हाला छानसं example देऊ शकतो which is related to your daily life. Your neural networks. Our body has some neurons connected to us, and whenever we need something to be communicated to our CPU. Who is our CPU? आपला बॉडीचा CPU कोण आहे?
Brain.
Brain is there, right? So brain is one of the important CPU device we can say of our body. So if I want to send some signals or inform my brain, I got neural network inside my body. The cells are called as neuron cells. Okay, neuron cells are the cells which communicate from one location to another. तुम्हाला हाताला चिमटी घेतलं तर ते ब्रेनला इन्फॉर्मेशन जातं, that is traveled through neurons only. If you are hurt somewhere at your leg or your limb, those signals are given to brain, then you start realizing a pain from your side. ओके, मला हाताला वार लागलाय, दुखतंय. मग ते इन्फॉर्मेशन कशी ट्रान्सफर होते? न्यूरल नेटवर्क्स टू ट्रान्सफर होते. वन सेल इज ट्रान्सफरिंग डेटा टू वन अदर cell. So signals are transferred. Same thing is used over here. How the neurals are communicating, the same way control unit is communicating. Signals पाठवतो तो पण. ओके, तुम्हाला लेफ्ट हँडला मार लागल्यावर राईट हँडला लागल्या म्हणून सांगतं का तुमचं ब्रेन? नो, बिकॉज न्यूरल नेटवर्क इज वर्किंग इन अ करेक्ट फॅशन. ओके, मग आपल्याला काही डिसीज झालं नाही तर आपल्याला काही माल फंक्शनिंग झालं, कधी कधी होत असतो, where person cannot realize that he has been hurt or not. Okay, so in that case you can say that my control unit is not working properly. Okay, same way computer can also face such situation. काही virus attack झाले, काही corruption झाला डेटा मध्ये, then it also malfunctions. Okay, जसे humans मध्ये paralysis होतो. If I have a paralysis, then I won't be able to understand if I've been hurt or not at my limbs. So because my neuron networks or neuron cells are dead at that place, they stop working over there. So same way the control unit can be damaged also. It can be working in a different way. It is not executing the things in a correct way. So that is the main job of the control unit, is there to make sure the operations are executed correctly, CPU is working correctly, input unit is working correctly, and output unit is working correctly, right? So these are the basic things that are being working inside what I can say computer. Last one is output unit, which is very easy. Whatever the operations or the executions are performed by the computer or CPU, those results can be transferred to output unit. Okay, of whatever the results of the calculations are there, I can send them to the output unit also. Another thing I can use output unit is for displaying error messages. If there is some error message in calculation, I can display or inform user using output unit. So in order to communicate back to the user, basically computer uses and what we can say an output unit for that. So in this way it works out. So you can give what we can say the example of output unit as a display of a computer. You can say monitor is one of the output unit. All right, another output unit is you can say printer is one of the output unit, where I can print something into hard copies. Okay, yeah, you can also give many other examples. For example, speaker is your output unit, where the output of the calculations is given in the format of audio. I'm watching a movie, or I'm converting some data into signals which can give me a sound output, right? So those can be listened using what we can say speakers. Okay, can anybody tell me a few of the other output units which are familiar to you, other than display, printer, and yes?
Headphone jack.
Headphone jack is one of the output unit. There I can connect an actually, if you're talking about speaker, then I can connect a speaker to it. So speaker itself is an output unit. Okay, something else which you can say, sir, it is very different, but it can be output unit. Something new, if you are able to list out. Yes.
Projector, GPS.
Projector is there. GPS, okay, okay. It is an application, I can say, of an output unit. Something cheesy, something different. Okay, आम्हाला वाटलं नव्हतं हे पण output unit आहेत. असे examples आहेत का? For example, I can add on plotters. Have you come across plotter? Plotter is a device which plots a graph. That is also one of the output unit.
3D printer.
Yes, 3D printer, very good. That is something new. So 3D printer is one of the output unit I can say, which prints 3D what I can say 3D output of a given input diagram, right? Or whatever the input I
QR.
Yes.
QR scanner.
QR scanner is an input. Basically, you are using camera. So instead of QR scanner, you can say camera is a good input device. Using camera, you can capture and provide image to computer, right?
IR blaster.
Uh-huh.
IR blaster.
What is that useful for?
Sir, to control remote TV.
Okay. So basically, in that device, you are using radio frequency waves, I guess, right? Radio frequency waves are used, right? So you can say a transmitter, IID transmitter or RF transmitter, you can say. That is also good output device. Okay, you can say LED is also good output device, right? So LEDs can be said as output devices also, because whatever the signals you can give, you can show them using colors and different light formats. So LED is also one of the output device. So these are different devices you can come across. So this is what a computer is made up of. Basically, a input device, a central processing unit, and a output device. All right. In some applications, I can say input device and output device are nothing but data itself. Let me give you an example of that. फॉर एक्झाम्पल तुमचा डेटा एक रिमोट लोकेशनला स्टोअर आहे, तिथून फेच करून प्रोसेस करून परत एकदा तिथंच राईट करतोय तो. फॉर एक्झाम्पल यू आर ॲक्सेसिंग युअर फेसबुक अकाउंट, you are accessing some Facebook account, in that you are uploading your photo. मग सिस्टीम काय करतोय तुमचा सेंट्रल प्रोसेसिंग युनिट, इट इज accessing your account which is stored at some database at some location and making a modifications inside that and storing back. You are adding some new photo to your profile pic and storing back or saving the account or logging out. So that time my input and output are database system which is stored at remote location. So your data can be also an input and output device or unit, I can say more precisely. तिथं या एक्झाम्पल मध्ये तुमचा डेटा हा इनपुट डिव्हाइस झाला और युनिट झाला आणि आउटपुट युनिट झालं. देर इज नो व्हॉट वी कॅन से फिजिकल डिव्हाइस अवेलेबल ओव्हर हियर. So that is also example of input and output. So your data can be also input unit and output unit, both it can be. Okay, so that is one of them. अजून एक्झाम्पल म्हणजे मी तुम्हाला काय देऊ शकतो की तुमच्या पेनड्राईव्ह मध्ये रिझ्यूम आहे, यू आर हॅव्हिंग अ रिझ्यूम इनसाइड युअर पेनड्राईव्ह, यू आर कनेक्टिंग दॅट पेनड्राईव्ह युअर लॅपटॉप, you are opening the resume, you are adding few features inside your resume and you are saving that file back. We are talking about data. So there can be some devices that can be input and output. Nowadays displays तुम्ही touch screens म्हणू शकता. So whatever I am accessing and pulling these arrows for you on the slides, it is a display that is giving me to draw arrows on it. So it can be said as a input and output device also. Display मला slide दाखवता आणि मी त्याच्यावर input पण देऊ शकतो. I can draw something over there, right? So you can say that some IO devices can be both. Some devices can be input and output also. Okay. So that is the fundamental unit of a computer. And remember that basically whenever computer operates, it fetches instructions from the memory or it fetches instructions from the input devices, and it executes those instructions sequentially one by one, and after making some processing of data or calculations, it writes back the data to the memory, or it writes that to the IO device or output device, we can say. Okay, so processing is done in bidirectional over here using control unit. We will see how the actually computer executes the programs in upcoming lectures. At now, our objective is to understand only basic level of how the computer works out. Okay, so there are a couple of minutes remaining. If anybody have a doubt or question, or if somebody is interested to put some examples or idea, you are free to do that. Anyone? Anybody is interested to enlighten us with some knowledge, some examples? Okay, so everybody is quiet. It means nobody has nothing to talk. Okay, so we will stop our session over here, and we will continue our session on Wednesday. We will go through von Neumann architecture, which we have talked about in lecture number 1. What I can say that in one of the previous lecture I have given question over what I can say is go with the architectural examples or processor examples of types of processor based on applications. Okay, so that is one of the questions you can prepare with. What are the different applications, processors based on applications? And another homework I will give you today. Try to list out output devices and input devices. Okay, come up with a list of output devices and input devices. At least you should be able to find out 7 to 10 IO devices, input and output. 7 different input devices, 7 different output devices at least. So we will discuss on these two questions in Wednesday's lecture, and then we will move on for the further concept. Okay, also go through the concepts that we have covered during lectures, and let me know if anybody has a doubt or a question related to those. All right, so thank you so much being here. Take care of yourself and your family. Good day.